Bali FM, the best radio.
Hello and welcome to Bali FM.
We are your hosts, Jorge
and Jorge.
Today is 8th of March of 2023 and we have a great show prepared for all of you this morning.
First, we'll be making some morning announcements. Today is International Kitchens Day. Be fast! There are sales at El Corte Inglés on frying pans, sprays.
So if you are a woman, today is your day.
Hey, that's extraordinarily disrespectful, Jorge. I don't think, especially today, we're honoring women and women's rights. That's not cool.
Wait, did you say International Kitchens Day?
Obviously, we were joking. I was imitating the typical brother-in-law. This used to be and continue to be jokes between some sexist and also non-sexist people. We should help all the hardworking women that suffer today and every day. As a fact, in the past centuries, women have been oppressed, but today there are different positions that have reacted to the contemporary feminist movement.
So today we brought two groups of special guests that will be having their opinion. But before starting with the program, the school lunch for today is 3 delight rice, turkey ragout in sauce with potatoes, bread and fruit.
So now, Jose and company will be presenting Spilling the Tea.
Well, today we are going to talk about something different. So, to all of you who are listening to us today, in our section we're going to treat the theme of eating disorders and the most common reasons why they arise.
You have probably heard of what an eating disorder is. They are a serious mental health condition that makes you have a bad relationship with food and a poor perception of yourself. It also has an impact in your mental and physical health, making you have less abilities to function in other important aspects of your life.
There are many types of eating disorders, but the most common ones are anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating disorder, being the others that are less known: pyrexia, atherexia, restrictive eating disorder.
They are pathologies in which the person who is suffering them has a continuous obsession with food and their physical appearance. These develop unhealthy behaviors towards food.
Anorexia is characterized by fear of gaining weight and eating. It makes the person with this disease see themselves fat when in many cases they are underweight in they are even at risk of dying.
People who suffer bulimia, for example, are unable to control their impulses that lead them to eat in large quantities, causing them to feel guilty and vomit afterwards. In many cases, laxatives are also ingested to vomit or...
The risk factors of this mental disease are bad habits in nutrition and in junk food. This physiological profile normally indicates a lack of self-esteem, insecurity, to need to be a perfectionist in everything, concern for what other people will say about them, how they are seen.
They tend to compare themselves to others, following unhealthy beauty standards and wanting to look like the other people they have their same eating disorder.
Technology have a big influence in this because there are magazines, social networks, and television. Also, publicity of models or clothes that lead the comparison and to try to reach that physique or habit that they see to reach those extremely thin bodies.
The origin of eating disorders is very complex and never respond to a single cause. Normally are because biological, social, or physical aspects. There are also websites pro-ANA, ANA known as anorexia, and pro-MIA, MIA known as bulimia, that promote these bad habits of this mental disorder and showing what methods they can use to lose weight, eliminate hunger, etc.
And also, comments of close people, such as family or other friends, are what often cause this disorder. So it is important to not comment on bodies that are not yours.
Yes, that is true. That is why it is important to educate about this in schools to have more knowledge in order to avoid these problems.
They are very complex and difficult to understand, therefore external support will be necessary. Although most of the effort to recover must be on the part of the person who has this disease, but it is not as easy as it may seem.
If that person cannot recover on their own, external medical help will be necessary, such as psychologists, psychiatrists, or nutritionists.
Each one can take longer than others to recover, but this disease usually persists forever in a person. I thought there are cases in which you can fully recover.
Yes, it is true that you can fully recover, but sometimes those bad thoughts of returning to having unhealthy habits come back again.
Also, it's normal having relapses after some time have passed since you have recovered. It is part of the process to recover. So when this happens, you must take some measures to avoid relapse and try to be strong and avoid those thoughts that can lead you to the disease again.
Really interesting, Jose.
Now, Jose, that's really insightful. Sorry for that. Thank you for that, spilling the tea.
Now we will do a break for some ads.
Are you tired of watching Netflix alone? Did you cry watching Monsters Inc? Do you want an Emma Watson, Scarlett Johansson in your life? Do you spend more time in the friend zone than in your own home? Then download Salupa, a dating app for El Valle students. With this app, you will find your own Kate Beckett. Salupa, the best choice for your lonely life.
Tired of leaving school and having to take the bus? Do not suffer anymore. Now, with our premium limousine service, you can go home comfortably, and the best thing is that you will not have to share a seat with anyone. Before, at 50 euros a month, now only at 49,99. Do not miss this incredible offer. Call now and get your premium limousine service.
This is Valley FM.
Have you ever dreamed of being able to know what someone is thinking? Imagine knowing everything that people think of you without them really knowing that you read their thoughts. Here at Valley FM, we bring you an app called Did You Know That? Download it now.
Do you want to enjoy delicious fresh juice anywhere and anytime? With the Fresh Juice Blender, you can now prepare your favorite fresh juices in a matter of seconds. Anywhere, anytime. Thanks to its portable and compact design, you can take it with you wherever you go, whether it's to work, the gym, or traveling. In addition, its powerful and modern and stainless steel blades guarantee that you will obtain a smooth and creamy juice in a matter of seconds. With the Fresh Juice Blender, enjoy freshness anywhere. Get yours today.
Okay, so now presenting another group named Current Affairs.
We have Álvaro, Iker, Rodrigo, Morato, Graciano, Rute, and Alexis.
Hello guys. As we all know, today is the 8th day of March and the International Women's Day, a day of pride for most of the women in the world that claims for the rights of women all around the world, but also causes some controversy in other areas of the society. The truth is that women have been in an equal position for a long time, but is that really a valid reason to cover men's image and oppress their thoughts as a revenge for the past? I personally think that the connotation the activists are giving to the movement is harmful for it, and it's creating a conflict that should not exist, because we all are humans. We must assume that men and women have different genetical characteristics and both are good in different fields. So in my opinion, women shouldn't let those people take the lead of a movement firstly created with positive purpose, and it's turning into a fight of extremes and a business for these activists that live at the expense of it, basically without doing nothing. So what do you think, guys?
Well, Iker, I also think that the celebration of the Women's Day can bring more problems than advantages in many aspects. But talking about labor terms, the main problem of March 8 are the constant demonstrations that stop the traffic by hindering people on their way to work. This also affects by having a great lack of employees, especially by women. Also, in fact, the government, even being in a situation of economic crisis, allocates millions of euros to support the movement, and this only to make strikes in the street. With all the money invested in the movement, more serious problems such as unemployment or inflation could be reduced.
Okay, so from my point of view, feminism has become radicalist and widespread, coming to produce and create a very generalized point of view of feminism because of a group of women who take to the streets and protest for their rights in a radical way, generating a point of view of women that gives much to be desired. I support working women who truly feel inferior to the law and not those who join the fashion movement. I feel sorry that a group of activists represent that a group of women who do not really feel represented with the image they give in the demonstration.
Moving into international news, 4 US citizens were kidnapped by armed men on 3 March while driving into the city of Matamoros in the northeastern state of Tamaulipas, Mexico, across the border of Texas. They had traveled there for cosmetic surgery, relatives told US media. 2 of the 4 Americans kidnapped at gunpoint in Mexico last week are dead, and 2 are alive and now back in the US. The Americans are believed to have been targeted by mistake and were not the intended victims, like the official said. Investigators believe a Mexican cartel likely mistook them for drug smugglers. And to try to solve this problem, the FBI is seeking the public's help finding and identifying those responsible. The agency announced a reward of $50,000 for the return and the arrest of those involved.
Now, moving for the case of Madeleine McCann, after weeks of attempts and trying to prove her story, Julia Faustina has admitted that she is not the British show Madeleine McCann, who disappeared in Portugal 15 years ago. However, she is convinced that she was abducted as a child. The young policewoman took an unexpected turn in the case and admitted in a live post of Instagram along with her legal representative that she is not Madeleine McCann. But this story is not over yet, as they claim to have evidence that something very serious happened in Julia Faustina's life, which will confirm that she is other abducted charges. After the back and forth with
I think you mean to say abducted.
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 Abducted. After the back and forth with DNA test, hearing the set on taking Madeleine's identity was weird. Her relatives helped to make this happen and they come out of the near fury and confess in the statement that the girl did suffer a lot in her life and that she must even be on medication, but that she is not the girl who was teenage 15 years ago. Now I throw a question for you. Do you think she did it for fame or just because she believed it?
For me, I've not really followed this idea that this girl is actually Madeleine McCann. The whole Madeleine McCann thing has been very interesting to me because I used to work in child protection, and if parents, it's interesting that the parents haven't been looked at more because leaving your children alone to go out eating and drinking is not acceptable and is a child protection concern. I'm also curious to know what happened about the German guy that people were focusing on last year. We've heard no more about him, so I'm not really focused that much on this young woman because I immediately assumed she wasn't Madeleine McCann.
I think that maybe at the beginning she thought that she was a girl, but now she's taking disadvantage of the situation to be more famous or to get an economic profit. Or I think that in the beginning maybe she really thought, but now she don't. That's why she changed the
Hello everyone, my name is Alexis and today I'm going to talk about the Cyclone Freddy. This cyclone is expected to make landfall again in Mozambique later this weekend after it struck Madagascar for a second time on Monday. Madagascar government says 8 people were killed and more than 1,000 homes were destroyed. The storm first break havoc in southeastern Africa in late February, killing 21 people and displacing thousands in both countries. Meteorologists say that it's a rare form of a storm to make such as a low. The tropical cyclone is on track to become the longest lasting storm on the world, and it continues to gain strength. The storm was already broken records for the strength it has accumulated and the 8,000 kilometers, but it traveled across the Indian Ocean. Its longevity and length have drawn the interest of weather experts globally. Experts say that it's very right path for such a storm to take.
Okay, Alexis, thank you for that information. It was really interesting. Now I'm going to talk about the economic international situation. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the inflation in the Eurozone. There have been some good news because it has been an improvement of the situation. Because we have passed from 8.6 to an 8.5. But even though this is true, we can't forget that the core inflation is still on historical maximums because it have been an increase from 5.3 to 5.6. This means that the European Central Bank have to continue increasing the interest rates, and people think that these interest rates can reach even 4%, which may sound like it's not too much, but considering that we come from interest rates of 0% or even negative, it's too much. Then in Spain we have a worse situation because the core inflation is 7.7%, and the unemployment is one of the worst of Europe, and the job unemployment is approximately 30%. And then talking about another really important country, China is going back to good growing rates, but there are some problems with the high position of some of the main and principal banks, which is making less attractive to invest in Chinese companies. So for those who want to know a little bit more about this economic situation, this is the
That was really insightful. I really like your section. So before finishing the section, we would like to ask our special guest. So, as a working woman on this 8th of March, what's your opinion about this, Andrea?
Well, I think it's very important. I mean, this idea that there's women running around the streets blocking traffic is interesting to me because I've never seen that. There are different women that are involved in the women's movement. There are probably some women that I probably have more in common with than others because the situation for women of colour is very different from white women. For example, my family, I come from the Caribbean, which means I come from slavery, where with women who've always had to work, been forced to work. But I think it's interesting because even today, you can see how women are diminished. I mean, I know your comment before, you hadn't thought about it when there was a section before where there were a lot of women talking. The person that was praised was the man. These are minor things, but they happen all the time, that women are kind of marginalised and ignored. So I think until we have full equality, these days are important. And women protesting on one day is not a big issue, because when there's football matches, people think nothing about taking over the streets and, celebrating if their football team wins. So I don't understand this negative view about women demonstrating it on one day, it's about equality. And it's not just about women, it's about, an equal society is better for everybody. So, it's important.
Totally agree. Now, as always, we are delighted to introduce you Weekly Sports, presented by Juan and collaborators. But before this, some ads.
Thank you very much, Andrea.
Thank you.
Are you tired of watching Netflix alone? Did you cry watching The Kissing Booth? Do you want a Marco Diaz or Adriana Agresti in your life? Do you spend more time in the friend zone than in your own home? Then download Salupa, a dating app for El Valle students. With this app, you will find your own Noah Flynn. Salupa, the best choice for your lonely life.
Valley FM. It's not the Valley of the Fallen, it's the Valley of the Rockers.
Valley FM, the best radio.
Are you tired of studying and forgetting everything the day after the exam and you are too lazy to make your own cheat notes?
We present you the Untitled, a web page that we put at your disposal where you can create your own cheat notes and where you can also find other people's cheat notes.
You just have to copy the text you want to include in your cheat note and select the size of the cheat note. You can select Typex model, water bottle model, or just a small piece of paper. Chuletator, don't study anymore.
Tired of not getting gains at the gym?
Are you tired of not getting any chicks?
Are you tired of being fat and ugly? Become only ugly.
With our new Matcha Whey Protein, you will become the Arnold Schwarzenegger of your neighborhood gym.
Matcha Whey Protein is not only really healthy and helps you to supplement your diet, but it also has the magic that you need to get big.
Matcha Whey Protein, available at your local store.
Eat big and get big.
Matcha Whey Protein.
Good morning. Welcome to the 4th edition of Weekly Sports. Today we bring up some really interesting topics. First, we'll talk about the weekly updates in the world of football. Last night, the first two teams classified for the quarter-final of the Champions League have been announced. Benfica smashed Brujas. The Portuguese achieved a bulky victory by 5-1, getting in this way the ticket for the next round. Meanwhile, at Stamford Bridge, the home team managed to back the result of the previous match. Last night, they made a great performance in which they defeated Borussia Dortmund by 2-0, getting their ticket to the next round. Now, we are moving to Spain. We have had a great journey in the La Liga this weekend. Real Madrid tied with Betis in a match tainted by controversy because of a terrible referee against Madrid. Barcelona managed to beat Valencia with a result of 1-0. Valencia claimed a clear penalty that was not given. Oh hell! How far does Negreira's shadow reach? Like thanks to this, the Catalan team is now 9 points away from Real Madrid and is positioned as the main candidate to win the league. Well, Jaime, what record has been beaten this weekend in La Liga?
Yes, I would like to honor the best coach in the history of Atletico Madrid, Diego Pablo Simeone. Simeone, after the match that was played on Saturday against Sevilla, became the coach with the most games played at the club, with 613, surpassing Luis Aragonés' record. A coach who took Atletico Madrid from the ring and to this day has placed him in one of the best teams in Europe. A coach who deserves a statue on the stadium for everything he has achieved, and a coach that I don't know how there are people with such a low memory who are able to whistle or criticize him. I would like to end the speech with a thank you, Cholo.
Well, thanks, Jaime. I think the fact of Cholo being the best coach of the history of La Liga, it's Atletico Madrid, is quite questionable. But Hugo, the Premier League has delighted us with some really good matches, right?
Yes, one. This Premier League match day has been exciting. The game that amazed everyone was Liverpool against Manchester United, in which Liverpool won 7-0 and gave them the confidence to try to come back in the Champions League against Real Madrid. Then the league leader Arsenal won 3-2 against Bournemouth, scoring the 93rd minute, which keeps them at the top of the league. And the Arsenal chasing rival Manchester City won 2-0 against Newcastle, keeping them 5 points behind Arsenal in the Premier League race.
Thanks, Hugo. Now I think Per is going to tell us about some great news in the world of fighting.
Yes, today I'm here to talk about the boxing match that has already been confirmed, in which the two undefeated Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia will face each other. The fight will take place on April 22 at the T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. As I said before, they are both fighters with incredible records in which neither has ever lost. Tank has 28 wins, 0 losses, and 26 of them by KO, while Ryan Garcia has 23 wins, 0 losses, and 19 by KO. Without a doubt, this is going to be the fight of the year, in which only one of them will remain undefeated. Both fighters say without doubt they will be victorious. The favorite for many is Tank, as iconic boxers like Mayweather and Mike Tyson think he will win. Ryan Garcia said on a TV show that Davis would not last 2 rounds. What do you think about it? Who will win?
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia?
I hope Ryan Garcia will win. Well, thanks fair for that fight. Now we are talking with Tufi. What can you say about the world of cars?
Yes, after 3 months after the race at Yas Marine in Abu Dhabi, where the 2022 season ended, F1 returned with the Bahrain Grand Prix. After a week of training, many teams like Aston Martin or Alfa Romeo promised a lot. After Saturday's qualifying, Red Bull would have its 2 drivers starting first and second, while Ferrari would start from 3rd and 4th position. Alonso would start 5th after the 2 Ferraris but ahead of the 2 Mercedes. Lance Stroll, who 2 weeks before the race had undergone surgery to operate on the breakage of his 2 wrists and some bone in his foot, would start 8th. After only 3 laps, Verstappen had already managed to take a 5-second lead over his teammate Checo, who was having an intense dispute with Leclerc. Sainz held on in 4th position, and Alonso, after a bad start in which the 2 Mercedes had overtaken him, managed to overtake Russell. After the first pit stop, Alonso managed with an incredible overtake to pass Hamilton. On lap 45, Leclerc had to abandon the race due to an energy problem. Alonso took advantage of this and managed to overtake Sainz, putting himself 3rd. Finally, Verstappen finished 1st and his teammate Checo 2nd. Alonso with his Aston Martin got his 99th podium. Sainz finished 4th. Stroll managed to finish 6th despite his hand pains. After this first race, Aston Martin has managed to maintain its good precision feeling, while McLaren and Alpine disappointed in their first race, in which one driver from each team had to abandon the race, Piastri and Ocon respectively. The other McLaren driver, Norris, finished 16th, while Gasly, the other Alpine driver, managed to rescue a point for the French team.
Thanks, Tufi. We hope Nano is winning this year his 33 career. Now we are moving to basketball. Jaime, do you bring us some news about Ja Morant, right?
Yes. As you said, these last days I have been informing myself about the case of the superstars of Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant. Apparently it all started one day when his friends threatened some Indiana Pacers workers about 3 weeks ago, after the very tense game they had. But this all exploded last weekend when he appeared on an Instagram live with a gun in his hand. The measures that have been taken so far is that he will be suspended for 50 games, so he will miss the rest of the season and a large part of the following one. My opinion is that this player is not hanging out with the right people, as he tries to be a gangster when he's not. And everyone knows that any of those friends he hangs out with will give anything to win his position. If he changes these habits, he will become one of the faces of the league, because he has the skills to do it, but if not, he will throw his career away.
Yes,
Sure,
I
Jaime.
think exactly like that.
I think that's a very great point of view and maybe the right point of view. But now you are going to tell us about Pau Gasol, right?
Yes, as for the NBA, how are we not going to talk about the retirement of Pau Gasol's jersey yesterday with the Los Angeles Lakers? A historic milestone in the NBA in which no Spanish who has gone through the league has ever been close to achieve it. Here in Spain, we are very proud of Pau for putting our country at the top of the league, achieving the retirement of his jersey in one of the best franchises of the league, where they have retired jerseys of people like Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, or Shaquille O'Neal.
So, I just want to say that if we're proud here in Spain about him, can you imagine Catalonia? How proud they must be of him?
Yeah, that's a nice joke, Ruben. Thanks for your intervention. And now we have the quick question of the week. Do you think from now on Pau Gasol is the best sportsman in the Spanish history?
No. Yes. No.
Yes.
No. Yes.
No. After Nadal, yes, but
yeah, maybe
Nadal went to Andorra. He's not.
After Fernando Alonso. After Fernando Alonso.
Maybe he's after Nadal. But I don't think from this he could be the greatest. And well, today's section ends here. But remember, this night there are some Champions League matches. And to see you next week. Bye everyone.
Do women not play sports? It's Women's Day and not one single woman was talked about or anything.
I think we are not in sports or women's updates. We are not into that. Sorry.
So that's why we have Women's Day.
The next week we'll bring you some great news about women's world of sports.
Thank you guys for bringing one more week the best news about the world of sports.
We would like to make a special call mentioning the accident that occurred in Castellana Street, and we feel sorry for all the family and victims.
We ask you guys, what do you think about the punishment?
I think it won't be enough.
Won't be enough? For being in jail or so?
Yes, probably he won't go to jail, so it won't be enough.
Yeah.
Some more opinions?
For
example, Juan?
I think he might go to jail, but this should be decided in the tribunals. So
yeah.
I hope the Spanish tribunals make the right decision.
We hope so. So that was
Like
everything. That was everything that we have prepared for you today. So taking advantage that it's a Jorge's Day as a host, we'd like to announce that the next week we would have a hot section with the Oscars 2023.
And as always, a special thanks to our guests for bringing such great content and to our technical team that makes this so possible. So get ready for more fun next week. We will be back next week with lots of new fun.
Bali FM, the best radio.